Howdy ho, Maplers. Another 250 has graced my legion. This time, Adele. And holy cannolis, Nexon has released the most unbalanced, overpowered class they have ever released. Oh man, Adele is something else. She's got amazing mobbing, she's got amazing bossing, she's got Night Lord level burst on like Shadower level cooldowns. She is everything in one class. It's pretty absurd. For the gear, it's pretty much all the same, with a couple new additions since I'm still shuffling around gear for my zero. My cup is really too good to be on this character. I should have saved this for Blaster or someone who actually needed the stat, because I could do just fine even if this had no strength at all. Like, Adele does not struggle. She just doesn't. This was my old zero belt. I was using this character to test to see if I could get by with using less strong gear than I was for my warriors. What an amazing test, I know. Use the most overpowered character to test, but it worked out. Our blade collar, 14% attack, decent flame. Didn't need to be that amazing. Drop gear as always, and our 27% main pot strength hat. Since I am now using a cooldown hat on my zero, I can move this around to each of my 250s, which is really handy because it'll give a lot of strength to all warriors. 10% Sweetwater Tattoo and Monocle. Pretty much I used these just so that they'd be 17 star when I finish the character. More Star Force, more Legion damage. Win-win. 20% strength on the top, and 21% strength on the bottom. These are the two new pieces that Jonah made during DMT for me. I think they're a little too strong. Again, it's kind of a bad test because Adele is like really overpowered, but I didn't feel like I was struggling at all with my old warrior gear, so I think those will go to the zero in the end, and I'll start using my old gear as well, and this will help me get closer to one-shotting consistently with my electricity on zero. Same old stuff. Drop earrings, a placeholder heart. It actually rolled 9% strength, which is pretty handy, but generally just for the Star Force. Our new cape that we made, 15% damage, 6% strength secondary. Again, Adele is like blatantly overpowered. You can get by even without potentials, to be honest. Like, I only rolled 6% attack, 6% strength on the emblem. Didn't suffer at all. On the inner ability, number of enemies hit +1 was the prime line that I settled on because Cleave has a pretty low max mobs hit, even with the V-node boost, so this just helped out, allowing me to clear more mobs every time I attacked. It was pretty handy. For the V-Matrix, you knew it was coming. Always max out the Decent Holy Symbol first. It's so good. It's so good. Followed by Infinity Blade. Holy boys, this is a busted skill. Low cooldown, a bajillion amounts of damage. It's OP. Get it? You don't really need to pump levels into it. It's super duper strong on its own. It's very strong at mobbing, very strong at bossing. It's a perfect skill. Then your main trio: Cleave, Reign of Destruction, and Hunting Decree. Reign of Destruction is pretty much your loot button. It's like, I was trying to not use a loot timer with Adele, but none of her skills really line up for a good loot timer. Like, Ruin has too short of a cooldown, and Infinity Blade has too long of a cooldown, so they don't really work as loot timers, so I was using Reign of Destruction and Ruin intermittently as my loot cooldown. But as well, it's also just a really good placeable skill that'll cover an area of the map. And those are pretty much your bossing, your mobbing, everything all in one. It's pretty darn perfect. Your second boost node is going to be Magic Dispatch, Aether Forge, and Aether Bloom. Mostly these are just like additional damage abilities for bossing and mobbing. Aether Forge has really ridiculous base damage even without a boost node. Aether Bloom, you don't really use all that much. At least I didn't, because more often than not it misses, and that just feels awful. And Magic Dispatch is just a little bit extra damage to anything you're attacking, so bonus bossing effectively. Your next skill will be Ruin, which is the laggiest goddarn skill I've ever seen released. I don't know if it's just me, but holy cannolis. Every time I cast this skill, like when the animation explodes at the very end and ends the skill, it like freezes my game every single time. Oh no, I don't know if it's just me, but this one felt really, really bad to use, but it's such a good skill. Like, it has crazy good damage. It's really good for mobbing. It's just a shame that it lags so hard. Third skill is True Arachnid Reflection. You just get this for completing the Will storyline. Pretty nice skill. Then Decent Sharp Eyes and Decent Speed Infusion for their nice little buffs, crit damage and attack speed. Our Character Building 1 for our bonus EXP while mobbing. Pretty darn handy if you're going to be training for a long period of time. Always get this in my eyes. It's only 250 of the matrix points, or not matrix points, of the node shards. It's fairly cheap for how much it does. And then the third trio, honestly, I think you could just avoid making this. Like, having Impale would be nice, but since that's 7 skills that you need to be boosting, you really can't fit it in, because all the skills up here that you have boosted are pretty much mandatory for bossing and mobbing, whereas Impale is really only for bossing, and it's really only to get the final damage buff for having 3 stacks of it. So, as bad as it feels not being able to fully boost it, you can just like ignore all of these skills. They're pretty worthless. And your final skill is Legacy Restoration. This is effectively only a bossing skill. Like, it allows you to produce more Aether when you're attacking, and it gives you 2 more swords to your maximum Hunting Decree stacks, which is really handy for bossing, really worthless for mobbing. So those are the nodes. Now for Adele, oh my goodness. You guys saw the Reverse City one. The Reverse City is a game changer video. It really is a game changer. For 200 to 205. I'm gonna have to get used to saying those 2 numbers because Reverse City is just that darn good. Let's turn on both of our toggles here. I trained in the Hidden Fire Zone. Pretty much because Adele is just really, really strong. I'd set Rain down on the corner and that would take care of effectively those 2 platforms. Then I would stack up my Lucid Soul, just jump up, and then set Lucid Soul here on the other corner. And then you pretty much just jump around the bottom and attack with Cleave. You don't even really have to use Hunting Decree in this map, because Cleave just has a really good clear to it. Also, this is effectively the only map where my Lucid Soul was one-shotting. Adele is the wonderful warrior scaling for its Lucid Soul damage, so it's not good at all. And pretty much you just go there until 205. I mean, let's be honest, 205 doesn't take any time at all. It really doesn't. And then you'll spend maybe 25 minutes doing the storyline if you just hold down NPC chat, and boom, you're into Reverse City, and this will be your new home until 220. Reverse City. Oh, I love this place. I'm so glad it got added. You can completely ignore Choo Choo Island now. At least until Yum Yum Island comes out. I'm also excited to test out those maps, but let's just pick up the rune here. Reverse City. Aside from what I said in the video, I found a different rotation for this. For my new rotation, I set Lucid Soul up here, and just like on cooldown, I'd hop over and throw down Rain at the bottom. And then stand right here in the middle, because Cleave has got a balanced hitbox to it. You can hit everything. And then you're literally just attacking left and right. And holy moly, this EXP is so good. Oh, I love Reverse City. It's so good. I didn't really feel any slowdown not going to Choo Choo Island at all. It still took about the same time overall as getting to 220 normally would if I was just using Vanishing Journey and Choo Choo Island. It's really, really good for how early you get to access this area. Absolutely, absolutely train in Reverse City. It's amazing. For 220 to 225, you probably could have guessed it. It's Rev Place 3. It's the most overpowered map in the game, in my opinion. It's really quite strong. Now for this one, this is kind of where my Lucid Soul became an issue because it doesn't one-shot. So I would just set Lucid Soul and my Rain on the house. Since Rain is also a very balanced skill, look at that hitbox, it can hit the top of the house, really quite handy. And this is where I just started cycling in the Hunting Decree swords into my rotation, because even standing here in the middle and just attacking left and right, you can hit most of them, but occasionally they'll run off to the very far corner and then just sit there and be like, haha, you can't hit me. Hunting Decree will take care of them. So once again, you're in a nice map and you're literally just turning left and turning right. Does this remind anyone of Pathfinder? It sure does me. It's definitely gonna with the next map. And 225 until 250, CL Prison. Hopefully I'm doing this video early enough that there's actually an open CLP for me to show, because good god, there are so many people playing right now. Oh, thank goodness, there is actually a map. Now for CLP, it's pretty much just the Pathfinder rotation. You attack left, you attack right, you clear everything on the bottom, and then you just spam out Hunting Decrees as you get them, and they'll take care of the top. This clear is so absurdly powerful. I was consistently getting like 95 to 100 bill EXP per hour. That's so absurdly good. Oh hey, nice. An elite spawn immediately. Well, I guess I could show off how fast you burst through elites, since Adele has some of the best burst damage in the game on some of the lowest cooldowns in the game. Let's just clear out these, wait for the timer to hit 32, and we'll just pop this bad boy. Buff up, mark him for bonus damage, bind, infinity, ruin, and hey look, it's dead. Oh lord, why is Adele so balanced? It's actually pretty nuts. But yeah, it's just the Pathfinder rotation. You just look left, look right, you attack back and forth, and you get absurd amounts of EXP for the amount of effort it requires to actually get that EXP. Now for me, I didn't do any training in Esfera because you just saw how simple the training is in CLP. Even if one of these maps were better, the amount of effort it required to make them better wasn't worth the effort in my eyes. There were a few people who went to Moonbridge on their Adeles and said that VC3 was a really good map for them. So if you're looking to main this class, definitely try out Moonbridge. It's got some solid maps. I endorse VC3 a lot if people are training past 250 because the map is really darn good. The only caveat is you have to be really darn strong. So I don't generally go to it. Even on an OP class like this, I didn't bother. So that's effectively the mobbing. It's really overpowered. Like, it's been, I think, 18 days now since my last video when I started this character. 18 days for a 250 on its own is absurd. That's really good pace. Like, that's 5 days slower than my fastest 250 ever, and I didn't really struggle at all. It wasn't hard, it wasn't difficult, it was just pretty easy. Adele is undeniably, in my opinion, the most overpowered class Nexon has ever released. There's just no shortcomings to this class. And even the bossing, like, oh boy. Let's go back to what I said in the beginning. It's got Night Lord level burst with Shadower level cooldowns. You just saw in that elite, between Infinity Blade and Ruin, you melt anything. Like, literally, these two skills combined, and you can always use them together because Ruin has half the cooldown of Infinity, so you get 2 Ruins per Infinity. This is absurdly strong. I don't know how they justified this that this was okay. Let's just release a class that's just gonna completely destroy any sense of class balancing we've done up to this point. Adele is nuts. Oh lord. And I know she's gonna get nerfed here in the future. Pretty soon. She's gonna lose her hunting decree final damage for having 6 swords, and she's just gonna get general powered down all over, but even after the nerf, she's still the strongest class in the game by a pretty big margin. Like, normally when a class gets released, it kind of sits near the top of the board because Nexon wants you to play the character. They want to make it look cool, it's strong, hey, play this new one, buy more NX. But this is going a bit far, don't you think? This is just undeniably the most powerful class ever just released, and then even after it got a lot of nerfs, it's still undeniably the best class in the game. Oh lord. But I'll be doing another dojo clear like with the Phantom to show you guys the bossing in dojo. It's nothing too spectacular. The only major difference between bossing and mobbing is you do not want to spam your hunting decree when you're bossing, because at least at the moment you get final damage for having 6 of them out at one time. And as well, it's just more efficient to have 6 of them out at one time because you're doing a lot more damage consistently rather than just having 1 or 2 swords floating around just over the entire course of your bossing. That's really the only major difference, and you add in Legacy Restoration, which gives you more Aether, which is pretty handy. It also gives a little bit of damage in its own little attack, but it's not that good. Like, at least Adele has one bad skill. Like, their next V skill is another stupidly powerful burst skill. Oh lord. So, I don't think there are any nerfs for Adele until the new V skill, besides the ones that are coming up. And Adele's still the strongest class in the game. So, once you get your new V skill, you're just gonna be even stronger. Hey, it's a win-win. Oh boy. This class is something else. But Conversion Overdrive, it's okay. It's not amazing. It just gives you bonus damage based on your magic attack. It's fine. Grandest Goddess Blessing, it's pretty nice. It's just another buff skill. Nothing too outrageous. Just bonus damage on top of your already absurd damages. Oh man. Normally I say I don't know what I have to say about a class at the end of these videos because a lot of them I'm not really optimizing the class to be a main. I'm just training it to 250. I definitely know what I want to say about Adele. Holy crap, this class is overpowered. Oh man, it just makes a mockery of like every 250 I've done before this that isn't named Zero, and just how fast and easy it is to train, to boss, to play. It's like there's no difficulty to Adele. It's pretty much MapleStory on easy mode, and I would absolutely recommend anyone who's doing a 10k Legion like this, do Adele. She's super easy. Maybe save her for after you do a difficult class like Bishop, Blaster, Dual Blade, God forbid. But yeah, Adele's pretty darn good. Adele is pretty darn good. So, our Legion, we are getting ever closer to that 9k milestone. It's a good feeling. We're making actual progress. But I'm not going to touch my board. I have overlapping pieces again because of all the 250s I finished since the last time I touched the board, but I'm not going to touch my board until 9 point, or not 9.5. I'll probably do it at 9k because by then I'll have enough overlapping pieces that'll make me want to fix it, but at the moment this is a fine board. I also have a board now for my dojo runs, which, yeah, this is atrocious. I didn't bother making it look very clean. I even have overlapping pieces here now. Oh boy. But I just made this so I'd have the bossing setup that I need for dojo. Pretty handy. For the next 250, oh boy, I don't know. I think what I'm gonna do, this is for all you good Maplers out there who watched until the end of the video. In the description, I'm gonna put a poll with a few classes that I have prepped and ready to 250. and I'll let it run for, let's say, 3 or 4 days, because I'm going to do some meso farming on my zero. So let's say 3 or 4 days, maybe 5, depends on how much meso I need. But after that, I'll see what class has the most votes, and we'll do that 250. It's definitely probably not going to be as fast as this 250 because, oh my god, Adele is a balanced class in every sense of the word. But, hope I see you in the next video. Hope you guys liked this video. And as always with these videos, if you have any questions about Adele, about 10k Legion, or about playing MapleStory in general, throw them down in the comments. I make it a point with these videos to answer any and all questions because I love this game. I want more people to play it. If you have questions, I'd love to be able to help. Or if I even don't know the answer, I'll point you in the right direction towards someone who does. Because there is a lot of stuff in this game that I still don't know. I've played it for freaking 16 years. You'd think I'd know everything. You'd be wrong. But that was Adele. Holy cannolis. I'll see you guys in the next one.